Prepare to read. Wheelchair sport. The growth of the Paralympic. Build background. Sports for the physically challenged. This athlete's artificial leg is specially designed for running. Of the Paralympic movement has provided increasing possibilities for athletes with physical challenges. The first Summer Games in 1960 offered only 8 sports. The first Winter Games offered 2 sports. A lot has changed since then. The Summer Games in 2016 had more than 4,300 athletes participating in 22 sports. The latest addition to the Winter Games? Para-snowboarding. Wheelchair sports. Hang glider to wheeler dealer. By Simon Shapiro. Art by Theo Kreinow and Warwick. Before you jump off a mountain, there are a few things you have to do. Usually, Marilyn Hamilton did them all and had a great time soaring in California's Sierra Mountain Range under her hang glider. But one day in 1978, she forgot to clip her harness to the glider. She was lucky not to be killed, but the crash broke her back. At the age of 29, Hamilton's life changed forever. But the lives of millions of others would also be changed by that simple mistake. Hamilton was never able to walk again. After a stay in the hospital and 3 weeks of therapy, she was given a wheelchair and encouraged to get on with her life. She was eager to do that, but worried about the things she would never be able to do again, like running, biking, squash and racquetball, hiking, and hang gliding. Still, Hamilton was determined to live a full and active life and ready to try new things. Regular tennis was out, but a friend got her started on wheelchair tennis. It was frustratingly difficult, and she'd come home from the courts at the end of the day with badly blistered hands. She hated her wheelchair. Its steel frame made it heavy, close to 27 kilograms, or 60 pounds, and hard to maneuver. And it was ugly. Being imprisoned in that wheelchair was the exact opposite of being able to fly in a hang glider. One day, that difference gave her an idea. Maneuver. To maneuver something is to move it. In her new wheelchair, Marilyn Hamilton excelled at tennis, winning the U.S. Open Women's Wheelchair Championship twice, both in singles and doubles. Eventually, she did get her yellow wheelchair. Hamilton talked to 2 friends who made hang gliders. She persuaded them to build her a new wheelchair using hang glider technology. An aluminum frame made it strong but light. It was half the weight of her regular chair, and she could really move in it. It even looked good. In fact, the only thing that stopped it from being absolutely perfect was that it was blue. She would have preferred yellow. Hamilton and her friends knew they were onto something. Hamilton couldn't be the only one out there looking for a lighter, speedier chair. They formed a company to make and sell quickie wheelchairs and specialized in meeting the needs of athletes. The company was hugely successful. Specialized. If a company specialized in something, it provided a specific type of product. Wheelchair sports. Wheelchair sports can be very competitive and very demanding. Elite wheelchair athletes have an awesome level of fitness, skill, and upper body strength. Wheelchair basketball is very similar to stand-up basketball. Rules are adapted for wheelchairs. For example, only 2 pushes are allowed before a player must dribble the ball. Wheelchair rugby was developed by a group of Canadian athletes whose reduced arm and hand functions didn't allow them to compete equally in basketball. The objective is to carry the ball over the opponent's goal line. Elite. Elite members of a group are those who are the best or most skilled. Objective. An objective is a goal. Why they're better. The reasons why a lightweight wheelchair is better for athletes than a traditional wheelchair are pretty easy to understand. In fact, Sir Isaac Newton figured out the exact math formulas to explain the stuff back in 1687, but here are the basics. To move something heavy, you have to push harder. Given the same push, something light will go faster than something heavy, and it's easier to slow down a lighter object than a heavier one. So it's obvious that a lighter wheelchair will let an athlete move faster, stop faster, and change direction easily. The only thing that isn't obvious is why no one built a light wheelchair for athletes sooner. It seems this invention had to wait for Marilyn Hamilton. Not only did she understand the need, she also had the connection to hang gliding technology that turned a dream into a reality. The lightness of the quickie was the biggest innovation. But Hamilton and her friends didn't stop there. They worked hard to figure out what else an athlete would need. In the end, the quickie was made more stable by giving it a lower center of mass and a wider wheelbase than a traditional wheelchair. An object will tip over when the center of mass is directly over the point of tipping. The diagram above shows that with a lower center of mass and a wider wheelbase, the sports wheelchair must be pushed to a much greater angle before it tips. A regular wheelchair tips over fairly easily. Center of mass. The vertical dotted black line shows that the center of mass is directly over the tipping point. Traditional. Something that is traditional has been made or done in a certain way for a very long time. With a wheelchair, the center of mass is made lower by setting the seat lower. The quickie also lets athletes adjust the height themselves. The wheelbase is made wider by using negative cambered wheels. This means that the wheels aren't vertical. Instead, they're angled so that the tops of the wheels are closer together than the bottoms. Another advantage of the negative cambered wheels is that the athlete can reach the wheel more easily. The top part of the wheel is close to the athlete's body, so the hands push almost in line with the athlete's shoulders and not out to the side. This lets you push harder. The diagram shows how this works. The shoulder is the fulcrum. and the muscles in the upper arm provide the effort. The output force is delivered through the hand. The farther away your hand is from your shoulder when you push, the less output force you have. The wide wheelbase on a sports wheelchair makes it very stable and hard to tip over. Center of mass. Lever, fulcrum, effort, output force. Comparing a regular wheelchair and a cambered wheel, the cambered wheel on the left keeps the hand closer to the body. It forms a more efficient lever, delivering a harder push. Tipping points and center of mass. If you want to feel how the center of mass tipping point principle works, grab a can of vegetables from the kitchen cupboard. Now mark the middle of the label with a dot. The center of mass is in the middle of the can, right behind that mark. With the mark facing you, hold the can on its edge just where it's balanced but about to tip over. Notice where the dot is? Right above the edge of the can. Now do the same thing with a shorter can, like the kind tuna comes in. There's no doubt which is more stable. Gutmann's great idea. Dr. Ludwig Gutmann was a German brain surgeon who fled to England before the Second World War. During the war, he was in charge of Stoke Mandeville Hospital, a place that treated soldiers with spinal cord injuries. Before Gutmann, these patients were left to lie in bed doing nothing. They would get painful bed sores, bladder and kidney infections, and would often die after several miserable months. No one expected them to become active again. Gutmann refused to accept this. He believed he could use sports as a way to get patients active and out of bed. He got a sergeant assigned to the hospital to play catch with patients in bed using a heavy medicine ball. They needed to build up enough arm strength to lift themselves into a wheelchair. Then the games really began. Activity wasn't optional, it was prescribed medicine. Patients had archery and darts, pool and table tennis. They invented wheelchair polo and wheelchair basketball. Amazingly, patients were soon being discharged from the hospital to go home and live active lives. In 1948, Gutmann held the first annual wheelchair competition at the hospital. In 1952, Dutch competitors made these games international. 8 years later, they were held parallel to the Olympics. The Paralympics are now held immediately following the Olympics in the same cities. In 1960, Gutmann watched 300 athletes enter Rome's Olympic Stadium for the first Paralympics Games. That number's now increased to over 4,000 athletes. Collaborative discussion. Respond to the text. Look back. 1. Reread pages 48 to 49. Look back at what you wrote on the Prepare to Read page. Tell a partner 2 things you learned from the text. Then work with a group to discuss the questions below. Use details and examples from wheelchair sports, hang glider to wheeler dealer to support your answers. Help keep your group's conversation focused on just one question at a time. Listening to 1. Reread pages 48 to 49. What led Marilyn Hamilton to invent a new kind of wheelchair?
Hello, scholars. It's Miss Coney. I just wanted to say that I had such an amazing year with you guys, and I am so sad that it had to end this way, but I'm excited for next year. Next year is going to be bigger and better, and we are going to all get through this together. And you know I wrote a song. Here we go. Be an artist. Paper on my easel. Crayons in my pocket. Colored pencils rocking. Be an artist. Be an artist. Paper on my easel. Crayons in my pocket. Colored pencils rocking. Be an artist. Okay, so I just wanted to say have a great summer, and I'm gonna miss you guys. Be an artist all summer long. Do your thing. Show me what you did when we get back. I love you.
Hi, welcome to today's reading lesson. We are going to be working on inferencing, and this is for second grade reading. So make sure you have your reading notebook out, and let's get started. My name is Miss Gitsis, and I am with Phelan Leadership Academies here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I would like for you to get out your reading notebook, and in your reading notebook, write lesson number, and then the lesson number that we are on, and then write the date. If you need spelling, it's on your screen right here. Make sure you are on a clean sheet in your reading notebook. Nice job. Today we're going to be working on making inferencing. So our lesson objective is I can make an inference about character, plot, and setting by using text clues and schema. Schema is your background knowledge. An inference is an educated guess, and text clues are what are written in the text. We are actually going to be detectives today, and we are going to use the acronym CSI. CSI is a TV
2.
show that was really popular a while back.
Review
where
page
people would
52. In what
detectives
way
would
was
make
Dr.
decisions
Gutman's
about
idea
what
for
they were
helping his
trying to figure
patients
out.
different
And
from
so
what
we're
had
going to
been
use
done
the
in the
acronym
past?
CSI to help us remember how to make an inference. And to do this, I'm going to get my glasses on because you're going to help me be a detective today. The C in CSI stands for text clues. And I'm going to make a graphic organizer that you should probably put in your reading notebook as well. So we're going to put C. That is for clues. So what does the text say? That's for clues. And then we're going to add on our schema. Again, schema is your background knowledge. So it's what you already know, what's already in your head. And to do that, we are going to make an inference. When we use our text clues and our schema, our background knowledge, we make an inference. And before we even start on figuring out how to make an inference, I want you to think about your lives outside of school. Use your practical thinking skills and think about when would you ever make an inference in your life outside of school? When would you use what you see, your text clues, what you already know, your schema, your background knowledge, to make an inference, to make an educated guess about something that's going on? So I know that when I have to figure out what I'm going to wear, I use my text clues. I think about what the weather is like outside. I use my schema, the S in CSI, my background knowledge, to know that what I typically wear in the type of weather that we see, to make a decision about what I'm going to wear. So for example, if I see that it's sunny outside, and I know that when it's sunny, I typically wear short sleeves, then I make an inference about wearing a short sleeve t-shirt when I go outside. You also make inferences when you're guessing the mood that your teacher is in. Can you think of any other times that you would make an educated guess using your text clues and your background knowledge, your schema, what you already know, to make an inference? I'm sure you can come up with plenty. So let's try this out. So right here, you see a picture of a girl. So we're going to use our text clues. And the girl looks like she is crying. So on my chart, I'm going to put crying because that's a text clue. And my schema, I know that when someone is crying, they are either mad, sad, angry. So I'm going to make an inference that the girl in this first picture right here is sad. So the girl is sad in this first picture. Let's go on to the next one, this dog. Well, I see a dog and I see a treat and I see it slobbering. So those are my text clues. So the treat is a text clue. I'm going to use my background knowledge, my schema, to know that when a dog sees a treat, he gets really excited. So I'm going to put excited as my schema. And so I'm going to make excited for treat. So I'm going to make the inference that the dog wants to eat a treat. The dog wants to eat a treat. Okay, let's look at the next one, this third one. So what I notice in this third one, and let's circle this just so you can see it. So the girl is sad for this one, is what we decided. The dog wants to eat a treat right here. And we're on to number 3. Okay, so number 3, the boy is on his pillow, is what we see. So on my chart, I'm going to put boy on pillow. And I know that when my head is on my pillow, I am sleepy. So I'm going to put sleepy is my background knowledge. And let's read what the choices are. The boy has lots of energy. Well, sleepy, I don't think so. The boy is tired. Yeah, the boy is tired. So let's circle that one. All right, good job. Let's go on to the next slide. So a little bit harder here. Oh, and it looks like we have to erase our markers. All right. So this one is a paragraph. So let's read the questions first. What do you think Priscilla was thinking when she heard the baby bird cry? And how do you think the baby bird felt when he felt out of the nest? And because I'm running out of space, I'm going to erase what I've written, but you can keep it on your
3.
graphic organizer.
What special features make sports wheelchairs better for athletes than traditional wheelchairs?
So let's read the story. It was a beautiful spring morning, and Priscilla, the bear, decided to take a walk through the woods. She was enjoying the sunshine and smelling the flowers when she suddenly heard someone crying. Priscilla looked around to see who was crying. She spotted a baby bird sitting on the ground next to a tree. She asked, "Why are you crying?" The baby bird replied, "I fell out of my nest and I can't get back up the tree." Priscilla looked up at the bird's nest in the tree and said, "I can help you, little bird." What do you think Priscilla was thinking when she heard the baby bird crying? Well, my text clues say a baby bird crying. So I'm going to put that under my clues column, crying. And I know that when someone is crying, that's my schema. I know that when someone is crying, my background knowledge tells me that they're probably really sad. So I'm going to put sad there. So now I have to make an inference. What do you think Priscilla was thinking when she heard the baby bird crying? I'm going to use a complete sentence. And on here, I'm going to write Priscilla. And actually, let me
when we don't have art to say. This is Mrs. Coney, and I just want to say this is how your classroom looks when we don't have art to save the day. I miss you guys. This is
Okay, we're on number 4 now. So it says that we need to arrange our Google Apps, where the first row is the classroom, the drive, and the docs. Okay, and it says then we got to take a snip of it. Okay, so now we want to find out where Google Calendar is on Google Classroom. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to do my split screen. Don't forget you can double tap up here. Some of you guys have it open from the last window, so you might have to double tap to get this to come down, okay? Okay, so like double tap. All right, then I'm going to move it all the way to the side till that white box appears. And I'm going to open up a new browser and I'm going to grab that and move it all the way until it appears again. But some of you guys already had this from last time. You can grab down here and scroll over. Okay, so I'm on number 4. So I need to open up Google Classroom. So I'm going to click the apps. Now that we have arranged it, we're on Google Classroom fast. And you should already be on your class. So I clicked it. I'm on my class now. And remember, the stream is the first thing you see. Okay. So the Google Calendar isn't on this stream. We're going to go to the classwork section. Remember, I like to call this the classwork page. So go ahead and click that. And we're going to write that. So where is the Google Calendar located? We're going to put it is located
Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Tech Tip Tuesday. Today we are going to cover the basics of navigating within Google Classroom. So you can see here that I am on my ClassLink homepage, which is the page that will pop up when students first log into their Chromebook and open the internet. And then from here, I'm going to click on Google Classroom, and it will take them to their Google Classroom homepage. Now, depending on what grade your student is in, they may have one or they may have multiple classes listed here. For example, our middle and high school students are going to have a Google Classroom for each of the classes that they attend. Before I dive into a class here, I want to show you how you can adjust your notifications for your student from this page. So in the top left-hand corner, I'm going to click on the main menu. And then I'm going to go to settings. And here is where I can adjust dates for assignments. They're going to be listed over here on the left. So it'll let you know what assignments are coming up. And notice when I hover my mouse over, it gives me a link that will take me directly to that assignment. Most teachers use the Google Meet link within Classroom, so they'll turn this on or off when it's time to hop into a meeting for a lesson. So right here is that link right underneath the name of the class where I could click to join that meeting. And then if they assign due dates for assignments, they're going to be listed over. I'm going to click on this spelling assignment. And again, this is what the student view would look like. So I clicked on the assignment. I see there's a Google Doc attached to it, but I'm going to click this view assignment to take me to the assignment page. So it tells me that this assignment is worth 100 points, that it's due tomorrow. And then over here where it says your work is where I'm going to click to open up my part of the assignment. So the actual assignment is in a Google Doc and it opens in a new tab. And so I have my directions here to write a sentence with each spelling word in the boxes here. Okay, and we'll just do that as an example. Now notice that up here in the upper right-hand corner, I have the button to turn in. So when the student is finished with the assignment, they come up here in the upper right to click turn in. And then it takes me back to my Google Classroom page. Make my choice. I'm going to click submit. And sometimes teachers may have the option for students to see their score when they finish if they have the auto grading turned on.
Cabral here from North Elementary. I just wanted to hop on and talk briefly about Google Classroom. Google Classroom is a free web-based service for schools. It helps to simplify creating, distributing, and grading assignments in a paperless way. And it does a really great job at streamlining the process of sharing files and assignments between teachers and students. So during this time of at-home distance learning, many teachers are creating Google Classrooms to post assignments, provide feedback, and grade student work. So if you're at home and you're wanting to set up Google Classroom for your child in order to connect to your teacher's account, the first thing I'd recommend is opening up a Google browser and then heading to the corner and clicking the icon and actually signing out of all Gmail accounts. And I recommend that because sometimes Google will default to other Gmail accounts in the background. So I know that personally when I open up my Google Classroom account, sometimes it will automatically default to my personal Gmail account as opposed to my school account, and it just makes things a little bit messier. So to prevent that from happening, I recommend signing out of all Gmail accounts and then heading up to the URL and typing in classroom.google.com. And once you're there, it will prompt you to choose an account. So if you don't see your child's school Gmail account listed, you're going to select Use Another Account. And then that's where you're going to enter in the 2-digit year of graduation, their first name, last name, at somersetschools.org. And for this demo, I'm going to plug in my own email address and click Next. And then you'll be prompted to enter your password. Students are going to enter the same Aspen-generated password that they use at school to access devices. And once they're in Google Classroom, they're going to see any sections that they've already connected to. So for instance, I have a technology section for each class at North. So your child will definitely see tech and then their section already on there, and then any other sections that other teachers have had them connect to. So if this is a new Google Classroom, specifically for at-home distance learning, they're going to click the plus sign in the corner, and they're going to select Join Class. A box will pop up and it says, ask your teacher for the class code and then enter it here. So class codes will be emailed out to you. If there's a new Google Classroom that your teacher would like you to join, they will be emailing this class code to you. So for instance, if you are in Tech 4N, the class code would be SACJX. XFL, and I would be emailing them to you. And then back at your plus sign, join class, that's what you would enter into that section. And then you'd press join. If you have any questions, you can always contact me at alexa.cabral@somersetschools.org. School account. You will choose click the waffle in the corner. From there, you might need to scroll down in order to find the Google Classroom icon. Mine is right here. It's the green chalkboard, and it says Classroom underneath. So you will see a term of the actual assignment there. And if you are in 4N, you will click into 4N. Your stream contains all of the announcements or materials that your teacher has uploaded for you. Your classwork section contains all of the actual assignments that your teacher has provided you with. So for example, in this video game cover assignment, if you click View Assignment, instructions will pop up, all of the directions to reach out.
We're going to go ahead and click on Add Website, and we're going to type in the URL for Google Classroom, and that would be, Mrs. Lucas?
Classroom.google.com.
Then we need to put in our Google Classroom code. We're going to get that straight out of Google Classroom. Now, what happens if I haven't made a Google Classroom for that period yet, Mrs. Lucas?
You just need to do it. You need to make those Google Classrooms right now. Even if they're not fancy yet, you need to make them so that you have the codes.
You mean not fancy like this one?
Not fancy like that one.
All right, so let's go ahead and double click on our class code. We're going to copy it. We're going to go back to the tab that we have Aries in and just paste in the class code, and we're going to click OK. Once you've done that and you've populated all these websites, you do want to make sure that you didn't have any type of those in the Google Classroom URL. So go ahead and click Visit Website on each and every one of these. All it should do is take you to your personal Google Classroom.
But wait a minute, Mr. Lucas. What does it look like for a student perspective? So like if I need to help my advisory students or any of my other students get into the classroom, what do they see?
Ooh, maybe, just maybe, we have access to a student page. So here is the student dashboard in Aries. Notice how their classes are listed in a table, and they also have this section called Website. But notice that there's something new that is hatching. Is this a good thing?
Not right now. We don't need to be dealing with Aries updates and new features right now.
So maybe we've also recorded a video that tells students to click maybe later. But we all know our students, some of them are going to click try it. And if they do click try it, it's going to take them to this screen that doesn't have Google Classroom codes. So it's a really easy fix though. So if your advisory students tell you, I can't see a Google Classroom code, ask them to click on their login in the top right corner, click on turn off preview mode, and it brings you right back to this page where they will have clicked maybe later. Now they have full view for their class schedule. And notice that under the column of website, there's a bunch of links to visit website and access code underneath. So let's go ahead and start with this period 1 class. You're going to tell your students to go ahead and copy the whole access code by double clicking and then copying. Click Visit Website. That'll take them to their Google Classroom where they'll have to click Add on the top right and just simply paste in the class code and join.
So now all you need to do is to go back to your Aries portal, to the homepage, and go ahead and enter the website and code for every single one of your class periods. That way your students will be able to join you on the first day of class next week.
That's it, Dons. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
How to use class code. Make sure to
I think one of the easier ways to get people into our Google Classrooms is to actually send them the Google Classroom codes. But first, I need to get them from everybody so I can put them on our website. So what you'll do is you'll go into your classroom as so. And then when you click on a course that you actually own, like this one I'm in, this one I own. When I click on it, right here is the class code. So if you can all
Hello. So how to find and cut just classroom specific class. So here biology, tap on that, and then in the class kind of icon, and so just click on that, and then you will